My boy, while you were sleeping, your shell still, your mind somewhere dreaming, the world changed. Something happened. People of the planet rearranged like particles shifting in their collective atomic structure, like a trip cut short by a flat tire on a road to the wrong destination. A little pit stop on the side of this collective highway finally made us realize that it does not have to be yours or my way. For in this struggle between hell and the highway, we missed every exit. But fortune had plans of its own. And so we were forced out into the sun. We looked up at the sky and down into the dirt. North, south, east, west, right and left. Exposed to the abyss of space. Except for this fragile little shell. A drop of water, a hint of sand, some generous probability, or a guiding nudge from some divine hand. What did it matter? The recipe for all life as we know it was born on this very pebble. Resonant frequencies both bass and treble. Thoughts, dreams, and wishes manifest. An opportunity to day in and day out be our best. While you were sleeping, all the wars stopped in an instant. Guns drawn back and missiles rained in. One finger pointed out as the other three pointed back in at us. We then looked up at those that we had once defiled, and with a sincere tear down our cheek, said these words and smiled. You are me, and I am you. We are one, we never really were two, or three, or four, or seven, or 10. We are beings of one flesh previously divided by the prescribed illusions of self-serving men. Male, female, black, white, and brown. Short looking up, tall looking down. Our differences are okay to be celebrated, not divisions to be cursed or reasons to be humiliated. At the altars of caste, religion, money, and creed, we will no longer pay heed. For that old world I have just burned, buried, and sent off in a hearse. This is our planet, our canvas, our universe. And when we said these words and shed that tear, all fires raging both far and near began to fade as the winds shifted. One moment of respite reminded us just how very gifted we all are. We had been fighting for scraps of a cake so infinite that its bounty knew no end and no one could find a limit. But while you were sleeping, we all awoke. We watched your breath flow in and out as the photosynthetic lungs of this planet turned its outputs into our inputs. Once known, now forgotten, this planet's symbiosis gave notice of its need and reminded us of its existence. Through you and her and him and she, in fact, it even reminded us of me, of we. For we too were once free. We too were once young, open minds, sitting under the shade of the great tree, taking comfort in its strength, compassion, and majesty. Dreaming of space, rainbows, and flight, looking to tomorrow with a big, resilient smile so bright that our astronauts would see the twinkle of our eyes from orbit, much as we saw the twinkle of the stars in the skies. Epic adventures of giants and elves, endless tales of wonder adorned our minds' bookshelves. We laughed and we loved, but then they pushed, and we shoved. While you were sleeping, we saw that wretched blue screen of death and witnessed a file system so corrupt it would notify only of its distress. This world hit one epic Control-Alt-Delete. Reviews of history system logs showed us the file path not to repeat. We hit a big reset, a massive forgive and forget, and bid adieu to the world that dysfunctioned before your eyelids became heavy and we awoke. You see, none of us in this glass house was fit to throw stones, and suddenly, finally, we realized we were all alone. Point blank reach from our own doom, Faced by a forever that could end all too soon, we met eyes with our reflection and in one collective cry yelled out, "Put down the goddamn gun! And just reach out your hand." I mean, really, reach out your hand. No make-believe, no pretend. A sincere desire to heal, a common goal to amend. While you were sleeping, a rocket ship of tomorrow lifted off and flew us to a world with one and only one country, imagination. And on the soil of this land, we planted just one flag, leaving only one single dent. In its sands, the only lines we drew were not between us, but leading from you to me, from us to we. And as we lifted up off the surface to look down at the patterns that we had now rendered, a complex matrix of wonder and relations was all we saw, the patterns of love engendered. This new aerial vantage point provided us with a glimpse into the complex symphony of a life that plays out all around us. From the staccato rally of an inspired idea, to the pianissimo of a child's first footsteps. From the crescendo of emotion surging towards a climax known as love, to the warm embrace between feather and air under the wings of a dove. Yes, it echoes into the infinity. This symphony plays on all around, but the volume of our own distressed mind kept us from hearing its sound. This world is beautiful. It always was. Tales of its wonder have been told from the west to the orient. Its expression changed forms and mediums, but beauty has always been its key ingredient. Captured in words, melodies, and pages, a rainbow celebrated in each and every one of its stages. From a DJ's 16-bar build unleashed on a crowd of people, to their unison sway at the end of a needle. From monuments built as odes to love, God, stars, and the seasons, to the kindest of gestures played out for no reason. See, while you were sleeping, your dream became a reality. More than we could ever dream, more than all the servers on the planet could ever stream. We began to serve one another, care for and nurture one another. As the synapses of 7 billion nodes fired signals of an awakening to their neighbors, greed and glutton soon gave way to kindness and favors. In all this, I hope that you will awaken, blissfully removed from the scars of our past, and able to inspire wonder once again in a sea of stars so vast. My son, while you were sleeping, the world changed.